and welcome to another episode of the Tipped Balls Podcast. I am your host, Sam Randazzo, and I am not only joined by my absolutely super thick co-host this evening, but by plenty of family, friends, and fans of the show live from the Zeffs Dockside Bistro in St. Clair Shores, Michigan. The day we have been waiting for a long time is finally here. 32 young men who performed at their absolute top potential in college will become very rich professional athletes this evening. Jacksonville has been on the clock for about 4 months now, and we've gone through about 4 or 5 different guys who are absolute locks to go to the Jaguars at one point or another. It started out with Evan Neal, the offensive tackle out of Alabama. He was going to go first overall. Then we heard talk of Aiden Hutchinson being an absolute lock for the first overall pick. And now we're in the Travon Walker talk for the possibility of him going number 1 overall. Obviously, whatever Jacksonville decides to do is going to pretty much set up at least the next 5 picks of the draft perfectly. But they signed up offensive tackle Cam Robinson to a 5-year deal today. So with that said, it pretty much takes them out of competition for either Ekwonu or Evan Neal with that first overall pick. So one would presume they are going to go with one of the defensive linemen. Now, will that be Aiden Hutchinson? Did they just create a smoke screen the last few days with this Travon Walker talk? Or is everyone right in their gut and it will be Travon Walker? Uncle Sam, I'm going to ask you.
I think it's going to be Aiden Hutchinson.
You got to get closer to both.
I think it's going to be Aiden Hutchinson. I don't think Travon Walker fits what they're trying to do there. They're trying to make up for the mess that they had last year with the coaches and just the season they had in general. They're going to get a lot of guys back this year. They need somebody that's a stud at the edge, that can set the edge, and somebody to play opposite Josh Allen.
Well, Aiden Hutchinson is definitely the safest pick in this draft, I think. You know exactly what kind of player you're getting with him. And at the end of the day, there are question marks with the other defensive ends that are that high in the draft. Kayvon Thibodeaux, people have been questioning his character since his college career ended. Travon Walker kind of went under the radar in the beginning of this draft process in January and February. And as of late, probably the last 30 days, he came on extremely strong. But there's a whole nother factor in this. There was a little bit of talk today that the Jaguars would actually bypass taking a defensive end or an offensive tackle and go for Garrett Wilson, the wide receiver. For me personally, I've always said skill positions in the top 3 picks are a little bit high. But if they were to take the best receiver in this draft, how would you feel about them doing it at number 1?
Well, if they're going to do it, they have to do it because it's either there or they're going to miss out. None of these receivers will be there for them in the second round.
The whole thing is the Jaguars spent a huge amount of cap space and cash capital on their receiving core this offseason. Now, did they get any studs, somebody who's going to be as good as Garrett Wilson? No, I don't think so. But they got a ton of complementary players that I think are definitely going to bring them from the worst team in the league to competing for a playoff spot in that division this year. Personally, I have them on my mock draft taking Travon Walker first overall. I want to see what you two think.
I think they're taking Aiden Hutchinson. I think it's all a smoke screen. They're taking Hutchinson. They need a guy from his pedigree to really set that team where they want to go.
Well, I think especially with a lot of the issues they had last year. Obviously, we know Urban Meyer's in our scumbag Hall of Fame.
He's right there next to Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
Because he's a real idiot.
The Hall of Fame,
they need to fix the problems they got there.
Well, yeah. So the pick is in. Here we go.
Here we go.
Bruce, real quick before we do this here, who do you think they're going to take right now?
Uncle Sal's right. It's probably going to be Aiden Hutchinson if I had to take a guess. I mean, with the way their defense went last year, I mean, it's a lock for me. It's Aiden Hutchinson.
So the pick is in for Jacksonville here. And again, I don't think this is going to be a situation where they trade out of the number 1 overall pick. Now,
I don't think so either. I think they're going to have a pick here.
At the end of the day, can I guarantee that their 2 and 3 won't be traded? Absolutely not. But I'm pretty sure Jacksonville's going to pick here, and we're just moments away from the number 1 overall pick in the 2022 NFL Draft.
Man, I'm just excited for the Lions.
This is
man.
huge. It's going to set up.
I'm excited for the Lions.
It's going to set a precedence right here.
Yeah.
Well, this is going to – here we go. The first overall pick. Trayvon Walker, defensive end, Georgia.
Wow.
Wow.
Big.
Wow. This is absolutely huge here. Real quick,
Wow.
Bruce.
I didn't see that coming, man. Who did you choose that?
I did. I had Trayvon Walker going 1 overall, and they've just announced that our own Detroit Lions are on the clock.
Let's go, baby.
Uncle Sam. So Walker went number 1. The Hutchinson thing for the last 3 months was a smokescreen. Now, the question is, obviously we know what kind of player Trayvon Walker is. We know he's making an instant impact on the opposite side of Josh Allen, who they claimed his 5-year extension today. Who are the Lions taking here? Will they go Hutchinson, or will they go Kayvon Thibodeaux? I personally think they're going to go Thibodeaux, but I want to hear your thoughts.
Hutchinson is a safe pick. If they're going to go safe, they take him. They want explosion. They want to have a playmaker. They're going to have to go Thibodeaux. I just don't.
That just set the tone for the entire draft. I think Jacksonville did not go with the safe pick. Aiden Hutchinson truly is the safest pick in this draft, and they did not go that route. I think that will set, like you said, will set the precedence for this draft. Everybody's going to go balls to the wall, and everybody's going to pick the guy that they think has the highest ceiling, but is not necessarily the safest pick, and I think that's what Jacksonville just did with Trayvon Walker.
They got the most versatile end in the draft. He can play tackle or end. That's huge. And
just getting ready.
Obviously, that's what they wanted. They want to move him all over the line.
Okay, the number 2 pick is in. The Detroit Lions pick is in. And we're moments away from figuring out who will be the future face of the Detroit Lions franchise.
Here we go.
Again, I think this is going to be Kayvon Thibodeaux. I know there's a ton of people in this city who want to see the hometown guy, Aiden Hutchinson, suit up for the Lions next year. But I think at the end of the day, you can't pick this high in the NFL draft based on emotion. And Kayvon Thibodeaux's ceiling is higher than Aiden Hutchinson.
Absolutely.
If you want to go safe, you take Hutchinson. But I think Kayvon Thibodeaux has the higher ceiling. Now, is there any chance the Lions shake the world here and take quarterback Malik Willis out of Liberty?
Oh, God. Maybe. We're about to see.
I'm excited, man.
Bruce, this is your pick here. What do you want to see happen?
I am standing up. I am ready to go. I want Kayvon, dude. It better happen. Otherwise, I'm going to be walking out of this place.
That's it.
I swear to God.
That's it.
I swear to God.
Bruce, how will you feel if they go quarterback here and pick Jared Goff's replacement?
If they pick Malik?
The pick is in.
Yes, if they pick Malik Willis here, how will you feel?
You know, I wouldn't be too upset. I actually wouldn't mind. I like Jared Goff, but you know what? You got to have a guy behind him. I would be okay with Malik.
All right, here comes Roger Goodell, the Detroit Lions.
Here we go.
Here we go.
What the hell?
And the hometown kid stays at home. Michigan defensive end Aiden Hutchinson will be a Detroit Lion, becoming the second pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. I mean, they went safe. You cannot knock that pick whatsoever. He's the safest bet in this draft. Oh, yeah, I just heard from the crowd that you look just like Aiden Hutchinson, Bruce. So, yes,
that's
they
fucking
selected the
bullshit.
tugboat with the second overall pick.
The safe pick, you know, he's Kyle Van Der Bosch at best.
Yeah, we know exactly what the Lions are getting with Aiden Hutchinson. There's no question there.
Right.
The guy, he will give you.
You're not getting a guy that's going to wear a gold jacket. That's for sure.
Well, they're getting a guy. They're getting a guy who has the potential to have 3 sack games, and then a guy who is going to definitely require the offensive line's attention, but will not necessarily change the game for you every week. where I think Kayvon Thibodeaux had that Vaughn Miller gold jacket game-changing potential. I don't know if Hutchinson's there.
It's obviously what they're trying to do is they're trying to put butts in seats, and it's just too bad. You see that kind of stuff, and it just,
I don't know what you want me to say, man.
They definitely got a great player. He stays at home. I mean, at the end of the day, you cannot knock the pick. They went safe, and
listen,
you can't be mad at it. Thank God they did not take a DB. That's all I have to say.
Listen,
Bruce, what do you think?
Anybody this high in the draft is a good pick. All right, it's all fucking bullshit. All right, I'm sick of this. It should have been Kayvon Thibodeaux. The guy's a beast up front, and this was the safe pick. I'm sick of the Lions choosing the safe pick.
Totally.
It's ridiculous.
I agree.
Ridiculous.
I agree, Bruce. You're absolutely right, in my opinion. That's not a sexy move.
I want the Lions to do something sexy every single year.
Well, let's see something sexy here from the Houston Texans. They're on the clock right now, so let's see what happens here.
Well, okay, end of the day. They're definitely not going to go quarterback, I don't think. I mean, Davis Mills, they drafted last year.
Thibodeaux.
Yeah.
Whitney Merciless just retired, so.
Well, at the end of the day, if they went out and got protection for Davis Mills here, I don't think that's a bad thing.
I don't either.
I agree with you. I think right now at this point in the draft,
they might even go Sauce.
At this point in the draft,
I would love to see Sauce.
At this point in the draft, you have to go with the guy who's going to change the makeup of your team, and I think that's Kayvon Thibodeaux.
I do too. I think you're right. Exactly. Yeah.
Got nothing. I'm still shocked from the Lions.
So far in our mock drafts, I was right on number 1.
Yes.
And I was wrong on number 2.
I was wrong on both.
You were wrong on both, so you're 0 for 0. At least I'm batting 500 still.
Yeah.
But the pick is in here for the Texans, so we're just waiting on Roger to waddle out there now.
Yeah. He's a clown, too. They need to get rid of him, too.
Bruce, do you think that Houston's going to pull the trigger on Thibodeaux here, or do you think they're going to go elsewhere?
I'm not sure, to be honest. If they choose Kayvon, though, I'm going to walk out. I'm going to walk away. I'm done.
So now the Jets are on the clock, and Thibodeaux's out there. Both offensive linemen are out there.
If there's anybody that needs secondary, it's the Jets. Jets need secondary.
Yeah, but do you think the Jets are going to make the mistake of passing up on those other 3 guys right now?
I got a feeling the Jets might trade Drake London here and throw a wrench into everything.
Well, everybody said that the Jets were going to take Drake London for a while, but that kind of faded away. Me personally, with the way everything's panning out now, I think Thibodeaux's definitely in play here, and I think he's the favorite at this moment. Unless the Jets trade out of this pick, the clock is still running. They've let it run longer than any other team thus far. So realistically, I think the Jets could possibly be trading out here.
They might be, yes. They're on the phone right now, and they're talking to people. So that's usually what happens when you see guys taking the full extent of the clock, that they're trying to cut a deal.
The pick is in, and I just accidentally looked at my phone before it popped up on our TV here, and via Ian Rappaport, the New York Jets are taking cornerback Ahmad Sauce Gardner. He has confirmed it before the pick actually came out. I guess we'll see how true that is here momentarily, but
Sauce Gardner is the best corner in that draft. By far, I thought he was the best.
This is the whole thing. Stingley, yes, I agree with you that he's more explosive, but all around corner,
Gardner's better. He's better at mirror. These are bump and run coverages. It's man on man, and he can do both. He can he'll play in your hip pocket, and he'll stuff you at the line.
If that's true, that's the first one that Sal hit with his mock draft.
That will be Sauce Gardner.
We both picked Sauce Gardner to go here at 4. So here's hoping Ian Rappaport is right. Now, I think Stingley, again, is the most explosive player.
Can you get Rappaport in the room?
If it's not, it's his doppelganger, but...
Doppelganger.
they're taking quite a long time to get this.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. Roger Goodell's a clown.
Yeah, Roger Goodell might have
there's anybody that likes him. He sucks.
At the end of the day, if the Jets do go with Ahmad Gardner here, I mean, the guy's name is Sauce Gardner.
Hey, It is what it is. He's a hometown guy. Now, Lions you weren't going to go hometown. You should have went with Sauce.
With the name like Sauce, I mean, you can't go wrong, you know?
Can't go wrong.
I think Sauce and Sky Moore both should have been Lions if we're just drafting sheerly based on the names.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do, is just draft hometown guys and put butts in seats. That's what you do.
Now, how wild would it be for the Lions to go Sky Moore at 32? And there's people who think that could be an option.
That could happen. I've been seeing some weird
things
all week.
Hold on here. We have Roger Goodell out here right now. And with the 4th pick in the 2022 NFL draft,
there he is.
The New York Jets draft cornerback Ahmad Sauce Gardner out of Cincinnati. Now, you and me both agree, like we said, this is the best all-around corner in this draft.
He could be the best player in the draft. I've heard a lot of people have ranked him that high.
I mean, there's not one intangible that this guy doesn't have. He's fast.
He's a 6'3" corner. You don't see corners 6'3".
He has the vertical. He has the three. He has everything that you want in a great corner. And I think the Jets went with the pick that they wanted all along. They got the guy they wanted. And at the end of the day, you and me both got an extra point in our mock draft.
Should we go put a check mark by the board over there? Is what we should do, huh?
Yeah, so far in the mock draft, I'm still up 1 on you, but
I know
that's a good idea. We
kind of figured that was going to happen.
Check off the ones we got.
Well, you know, we kind of figured that was going to happen. I also did my mock draft. That was like 2 weeks ago.
Well,
and a lot of things have transpired since then.
You are our resident draft guru, so I expected you to get all 32 right. But
no, that ain't going to happen.
It's okay.
That ain't going to happen. But we kind of figured the minute. Now you're seeing a run on corners. The first receiver that comes off the board, you're going to see a run on receiver. And you're going to see a bunch of guys jumping up to try to grab one.
Realistically, when do you think we'll see that first receiver come off the board? I mean, right now where we're at.
If the board plays out right now, you're going to see 2 tackles go. Evan Neal and Ekwonu.
And Hutchinson going here at 5. So
yeah, you know what? It should have been that way.
Well,
you were right.
I thought it was going to play out that way, but
it should have been that way.
At the end of the day, let's break this down. Well,
here's the thing with the Giants right now. You could see Thibodeaux go here.
Well, okay.
You could see Thibodeaux. I know they were high on Jermaine Johnson, but you could see Thibodeaux go here instead.
Let's put a little logic into this. At the end of the day, the Panthers are not going to draft a defensive end, no matter who is there.
We don't know. We don't know. They lost Hassan Riddick. So
that is true. But I think if you're the Giants here, you go get the offensive lineman you like to make sure he doesn't go to Carolina. So if you like Ekwonu or you like Evan Neal, you take one of them here knowing that on the back end you're going to get Thibodeaux, because Carolina, in 3 minutes after this Giants pick comes in, we're going to talk about it, but I don't think they're going.
Bothers me.
Just go on the tangent. Go.
That's it. He bothers me. You know what? The guy's called it wrong for so many years. I don't even know why he's still on here. It's just ridiculous. He gets it wrong every year. Oh, Jadeveon Clowney's the best player in the draft. No, he wasn't. Khalil Mack was.
Okay, so
we haven't seen nobody trade.
No.
We haven't seen nobody trade
yet.
I thought for sure you were going to see some guys start jumping up.
There was so much talk that one of these top 5 teams was going to trade out, whether it was Houston, whether it was the Giants, and obviously the pick is in now for the Giants, so they're not trading out either. And there hasn't been any movement so far. Now, me personally, I don't think that's because the top 5 teams didn't want to trade out. I think it's because nobody wanted to trade
nobody
up.
Wanted to go up. Nobody wanted to go up.
I think if one of those teams wanted out, if one of the teams wanted up bad enough, they would have made it.
Oh, I agree.
So far, out of these 4 picks, the only person that I think the team was set on, no questions asked, in love with, was Sauce Gardner to the Jets. Yeah. So the Stingley pick to Houston still is
that's a reach. I don't understand that at all.
So far, that's our reach.
Trayvon Walker, I understand, but the rest of this, I don't.
Who do we have? Who does Sal have taking?
I have them taking Hutchinson, so I'm out. He has them taking Evan Neal. So going back to our mock draft, I had the Giants taking Aiden Hutchinson, so obviously my pick is out of the question here. But you have them taking Evan Neal. Are you still confident with that pick, or do you think it's going to be Thibodeaux?
I think Evan Neal's the most versatile tackle. If they really seriously, but they didn't pick up that option on Daniel Jones now, man. I don't know what they're going to do. I have no idea. I have no idea what they're going to do anymore. Yeah. I thought for sure they would go whole line here to protect him.
3?
And then they don't give him the 5th-year option. So
2 for 4?
Well, yeah, hold on. That adds a whole nother element to this. What if because they didn't give Daniel Jones that 5th-year option, they go quarterback right here?
That could happen. You could see Kenny Pickett go right here. Who knows? Maybe Malik Willis.
Here we go. Roger Goodell at the podium for the 5th pick to the New York Giants. Don't be shocked if they go quarterback here.
That could happen. Well, we're about to see if Roger Goodell can get this
how
out.
bad does that Daniel Jones pick look if this year they decide...
gave up on him in 3 years?
Oh, my God, I know.
Didn't even build anything around him? It's terrible.
It'll be terrible.
Who is this?
The smart thing to do here is you're going to have Daniel Jones for next year. Draft an offensive lineman that will protect him. Draft somebody who will keep Saquon Barkley from getting injured and actually try to run the offense that you have.
Here we go, Sammy.
But with the 5th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New York Football Giants select Kayvon Thibodeaux, defensive end from Oregon. And
Steal of the draft.
I'm going to say that is the steal of the draft right there. Getting his kind of talent at 5.
Yes. Absolute steal of the
realistically, if we look back at this draft a few years from now, he could be the best player out of this draft. I believe that.
See if he ain't going to punish them top 4 teams.
I'm done.
Oh, yeah. He will. He will. Hold on. Let's go to Bruce.
I'm done. This is bull crap. Why does New York get him?
So far, essentially, as far as my mock goes, we're switching Hutchinson and Thibodeaux so far.
Well,
now, and obviously nobody. I don't think anybody predicted the Stingley thing, but now Carolina is on the clock. So there's a few things Carolina can do here. If they're going to go with Sam Darnold, which I personally don't think they're going to, they should go receiver.
They should. They should go receiver. They need somebody there.
Now, at the same time, Sam Darnold's not the best quarterback in the league, and Christian McCaffrey has injury issues. So you have Ekwonu and Neal both still out there. Do you protect those guys, or do you rebuild the franchise and go Pickett, Willis, or whoever your flavor of the quarterback is here? I mean, what do you think is going to happen? Because we didn't think that both those offensive linemen would be here.
Absolutely. Read about some of the stuff that Urban Meyer was doing.
So the Carolina Panthers, they just showed the rooms, the family rooms for both Kenny Pickett and Malik Willis. So for all intents and purposes, everybody thinks that this is going to be a quarterback pick. I'm not so sure now.
I don't know either.
I mean, you're paying Darnold to be there. If you're going to move on from him, you need to. At the end of the day, Carolina has a lot of decisions to make in the next 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Number one, is Sam Darnold your guy? If the answer to that is no, then you go on to, okay, is Baker Mayfield going to be our guy? If the answer to that is no, then it's going to be Malik Willis or Kenny Pickett, whoever they like better. But for me, it's hard to believe that you're going to sit there and say, you know what, we're giving up on Darnold. Tugboat. We're giving up on Darnold. We're not interested in Baker. We'd rather run with a rookie than go with Baker Mayfield. It's hard for me to believe all that, especially if you can get an incredible offensive lineman right here.
It makes sense to get a lineman here. They got to protect whoever's back there.
At least give it a run.
It doesn't make any sense if they're going to go somebody outside of a lineman here.
Right? At least give it a shot. You have Sam Darnold. Cleveland has already come out and said, hey, guess what? If you want Baker, he's yours for the taking.
And if you remember last year, they went on a 7-game tear when Sam Darnold was quarterback. What happened was once McCaffrey went down, they became one-dimensional, and obviously that's how come their season fell apart. And then Darnold got hurt. So they were done after that.
All right, the pick is in for Carolina. Real quick here, I want to jump back. I mean, obviously we're here in Detroit. And Bruce is the biggest Lions fan on earth. I want to know what you think Aiden Hutchinson's going to do for this team. Obviously, he's going to make an impact, but I want to know where you think this team will be now at the end of the year.
At the end of it's hard to say. He's definitely he's there. He's able to do his job and fill the hole and come around the edge. But you know what? To be honest, I feel like he's kind of small. I feel like he's not as crazy as Thibodeaux. I feel like he doesn't fit the part. He doesn't fit the team scheme.
Hello.
I don't know how I feel
good.
about it. You know, it's going to take me until week 4 until I'm able to actually get how he is at this league of level.
And you know what? I think
I don't know who they play the first game of the year. Who do the Lions play the first game of the year?
schedule's not out yet,
Schedule's
but
not out yet. If whoever team they play
we know
first,
who they play, but we just don't
Jamari
know.
Slayer from Georgia
Right.
goes on that team, we're all going to be in trouble.
I'm just afraid. I'm afraid he's too small, but we'll see. You know, we're all open. Like I said, it's going to take till week 4 for me to actually get a handle on what he's capable of.
I think that's good. I think Lions fans' expectations should be that we're going to play a few-week waiting game on Aiden Hutchinson. I don't think you should expect him to come out week 1, have one of his, the games like he had against Ohio State this year.
He's the second overall
one
pick. He
game.
better come out and do that.
Against Michigan State this year, I'm
he
sorry.
better do
They lost
all
to
that.
Ohio
Not
State.
even Michigan State.
He better come out firing on all cylinders.
I think he played better against Ohio State than he played against Michigan State.
Listen,
I feel like
I'll
he
tell
only
you.
showed up for really one game, and that was about it.
Kayvon Thibodeaux is going to come out with a chip on his shoulder because he knows he's the best player in the draft. And I can't wait to
wanted
see
him
what
here.
he's going to do.
I wanted him here. The guy's an absolute animal. But you know what? We got Aiden Hutchinson, Michigan boy. He said he's going to play his heart off if he comes here. So, you know what? He's on our team. I'm
There
going
you
to
go.
rep his shit.
The pick is in.
Real quick, I just want to shout out B Hall, who's here tonight, and I want to throw out a quick Zimbop all around.
Zimbab!
All right, so here we are. They're back on Kenny Pickett here on the live stream.
Where's he at? The green room? What is that? The bar down the street from his house? What is that?
No, he is I know he's at the draft, so that must be somewhere
Okay.
there. But if they take quarterback there, do you think it's Willis or Pickett?
I don't know. I mean, if they're just going for play now, pick it.
I'm hearing Pickett from the crowd, and I have Pickett on my mock draft as well. I don't think you do.
You
Do
had
you?
Carolina going pick it? No, I did not.
Do I have Carolina going Pickett? I have Carolina going Pickett. Who do you have? Who does? Ekwonu. So you have them going
I have
offensive
them going
line. I have
offensive
them
line.
going
You got
with
them
Kenny
going
Pickett. We're
quarterback.
gonna.
Here we go.
I agree. It would make more sense for them to go line, but
There you go.
Ekwonu, you're right again.
Wow.
So
There
at the end of the day, our questions are answered. Obviously, they weren't high on any of the quarterbacks. They didn't take them, and obviously, they're going to try and make things work with Sam Darnold and/or Baker Mayfield. Now,
They had the best run blocking tackle in the draft.
Now,
That's
you
what this
think
guy
you've
is.
told us on the show before, you think Ekwonu is the best offensive lineman in this draft.
He's the best lineman. He's not the most versatile, but he's the best lineman in the draft. Best left tackle in the draft.
Now, I think that's an instant game changer for them. McCaffrey
McCaffrey needs a guy to run behind, and this guy's a monster.
He's had injury problems the last 2 seasons. He needs a guy to, like, if I'm a fantasy manager right now, I'm watching this Ekwonu pick, and my Christian McCaffrey stock's skyrocketing. At the end of the day, this is the perfect guy they need to keep McCaffrey from getting injured and to give whoever's going to play quarterback, which right now it's Darnold, the protection that he needs in that comfort of knowing they have a stud there.
Did you see?
I mean, we're
See
watching
him blow up that guy from North Carolina.
They're
He
throwing the highlights
absolutely
up
buried him.
right now, and the guy's an absolute animal. Absolute
He's
animal.
an animal in the run game. Watch. When he takes off, he's burying people.
So now the Giants are back on the clock.
I think you could see Evan Neal go here. They already got their one guy. They're basically gonna get the most versatile tackle in this draft and the best defensive end in the draft.
So you think, no question, they're going Evan Neal
I think
here.
Evan Neal will go here.
I think so too. If you're not going to take a QB here, which, again, that is in play for the Giants. They did not take the fifth-year option on Daniel Jones today. If you don't take a QB here.
If they take a QB here, I'll be shocked.
So you'd be shockght if they pull
Yeah.
QB. Okay,
Yes.
so then that leaves Evan Neal and or the field, and I would bet it's going to be Evan Neal. All right, so we're waiting on Roger Goodell. The pick is in for the New York Giants. Tugboat, there's
God.
cheers from the crowd. You got anything to say to him right now?
Go Lions.
Well, I don't know. I guess I'd rather watch Booger McFarland than Mel Kiper.
Is that Field Yates out there on the broadcast too?
I don't know.
Did he finally make it big time?
Who knows? They need to bring back Mike Mayock. I'm so tired of these guys.
So
None of these
So they
guys
have
know
Mel
what the hell they're
Kiper's
talking
best
about.
available up on the board right now. It's safety Kyle Hamilton, Evan Neal, wide receiver Garrett Wilson, wide receiver Drake London, and Jermaine Johnson. I thought they'd go offensive lineman with their first pick. Obviously they didn't because Thibodeaux was there. So now,
I think that's the only reason why they didn't go lineman with that first pick is because Thibodeaux was there.
because I had them going Evan Neal with that first pick and Jermaine Johnson with the second one, I
Hey,
believe.
is that Garrett's dad?
I believe-
Sal has Jermaine Johnson going.
You
right
have
now.
Jermaine Johnson. I think I have Jermaine Johnson going there as well.
No, you have Evan
Yes.
Neal.
Well, obviously they're not going Jermaine Johnson now if they went Thibodeaux. I mean,
Oh, I have Evan Neal going here. So
okay.
we know you're going to be wrong.
Obviously.
Fingers crossed. Here we go. The pick is in. What if it's Garrett Wilson? What if they get Daniel Jones' weapon?
That would be nice.
I mean,
they've
the
signed
end of the
so
day,
many
then you-
receivers in the
you-
past 3 years there.
You
They
still don't have
can't
the
find a guy.
protection. You still don't have any protection if you do go Garrett Wilson here.
They got to protect the guy. He absolutely can't make it through a season. He's hurt
And at the-
every year.
If you want to see Saquon Barkley come back and perform at any sort of a level, you've got to get the guy better protection, or he's gonna play 6 games again this year and get hurt. Here is Roger out with the 6th pick to the Giants.
Ooh. You suck, Roger.
With the 7th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the
Fire
New York
Goodell.
Giants take Evan Neal, offensive tackle, Alabama.
They got the most versatile guy in the draft. They can plug him in day one, right or
Check
left
it off.
side.
That's another one for me. Let's go. Check it off.
6'6", 340.
So this was a guy who we had a lot of conversations about possibly going number 1 overall to Jacksonville before they locked up Cam Robinson long term. So obviously I think he was talented enough to go number 1 overall if Jacksonville was in the hunt for an offensive lineman. And obviously they weren't after they signed Cam Robinson to a long-term deal. So now
Right.
New York gets Kayvon Thibodeaux, who we thought could be the best player in the draft, and Evan Neal, who we know is the most versatile lineman in the draft and could have been the number 1 overall pick as well. I mean, realistically,
They
right
hit a
now,
home run. You
the
got to give them an A.
the Giants get an A+++++ for this
Absolutely.
draft.
Absolutely.
Atlanta is now on the clock. We'll talk about them in 1 second, but real quick, here's Bruce.
Atlanta's a dumpster fire, so who knows what they're going to choose.
So on my power rankings, I have Atlanta at 32, the absolute bottom of the barrel. I think Atlanta's a team that's only going to win 2 or 3 games this year personally. I think they are going to be where Jacksonville was last year. Marcus Mariota's the quarterback. H.R. Puffin stuff in a sack of potatoes is currently their wide receiving core. Now, they do have one of the most versatile players in the league in Cordero Patterson, who really blew it up last year. But one of my locks for this draft is Garrett Wilson going right here.
It's hard to say. They need so much. It's really hard to say.
Now, because of Drake London's question mark with this injury, do you think Garrett Wilson right now is the logical best receiver in this draft?
If Jameis Williams did not get hurt, he would have
But
been
we
the
have an
first
injury-
wide
yeah.
receiver gone.
Correct, but with the injuries to both of those
It
guys,
could be Garrett Wilson here.
now, do you think they're going to do that here?
I don't know. I would assume.
Me too. So you and me both have Garrett Wilson going here on our mock
I
drafts.
would take Garrett Wilson here. They have no wide receivers there that
They
are
have nobody.
anything to speak of.
It's who? Fucking Zacchaeus?
Yeah, Zacharias and syphilis and whoever else is there.
Fact check.
What are we fact checking?
Atlanta's wide receiver.
Well, obviously they took Kyle Pitts last year, and they do have a weapon in him. And we know how
Kyle
much you
Pitts runs in quicksand.
we know how much you love Cordero Patterson.
He's the best. Best guy on their team. Best player on their team.
So you have an incredible tight end. You have a player with Deebo Samuel levels of versatility in Cordero Patterson. And real quick, we need to talk about Deebo. A lot of people thought San Francisco would trade him to move up into one of these top picks.
Obviously, they're not.
There's been absolute silence so far on that front. So that means one of two things.
Here was free agency was an absolute frenzy, and this draft has been garbage, average at best.
Well, so I think that means one of two things. Either one, teams aren't as high on Deebo Samuel as we are, or two, San Francisco doesn't want to trade him, which I can completely understand them not wanting to trade him. So I think we're going to see a wide receiver here, and then we'll have Seattle on the clock. And that Seattle pick, I mean, that might start the run of everything. But we will see. The pick is in. We're waiting on Roger to waddle out.
What if you?
I'm so tired of him.
What if you see a quarterback pick right now?
What's that?
What if they take a quarterback right now?
I don't know. I don't.
I mean, Marcus Mariota. I mean, come on.
I would say if they do, I mean, I would roll the dice. Malik Willis. I'd go Malik Willis here if I was them.
I could see Malik Willis as well, to be honest.
Hey, you know what? They did it a lot of years ago with Mike Vick. They should do it again.
There you go. Mike Vick 2.0. Mike Vick 2.0.
That's
All
it.
right, so let's be realistic here. Marcus Mariota is not a starter in this league, period. So could they go quarterback here? I think so. But the way Atlanta has played throughout this draft process, it doesn't seem like they're interested in a quarterback here.
But
But
they did that on purpose, maybe.
that could have been the smoke and mirrors. But I think they're going to go receiver here, accept the fact that they're not going to be great, and go into next year's draft looking for a QB.
Right.
So I think Garrett Wilson here, this is one of my locks as well. So far, I'm 1 for 1 on my locks with Sauce Gardner. This will be my second lock, Garrett Wilson going to Atlanta, and you agree with me. So that's safe.
Well, there you go. Could be Jermaine Johnson. Drake London.
Wow, look at that.
With the 8th pick, the Atlanta Falcons take USC receiver Drake London. So obviously, they didn't believe Garrett Wilson was the best receiver in this draft, and they are not concerned about Drake London's injury. So we've talked a lot about Drake London on the show, whether it was in the mock drafts, whether it was just in our normal shows. We thought Drake London was the best receiver in this draft. A lot of people thought it was Garrett Wilson, but we thought his draft stock was impacted by the injury. Obviously, it wasn't. The guy is, if you look at him on paper, realistically, you could be dealing with someone who's got the gold coat potential, I think. He's big, he's tall, he's fast. He had more contested catches than everybody else in the league, and I know how much you love him, so I'm going to let you talk about him now.
Oh, that's it. You just said it all. He's a complete receiver. Big. One-on-one, he's almost impossible to stop. You have to roll coverage toward his side. If you don't, he's going to burn you. That's why they took him here, obviously. The better route runner is Garrett Wilson, but they've decided to go with the biggest receiver in the draft.
What's sad right now is look who's throwing him the ball as of right now.
Right. Marcus Mariota's throwing him the ball, so none of that's going to matter.
Because I have a feeling he has the potential to be.
Oh, he
at
has a
least
lot of
close
potential.
to be
You put him
the
with
next
Kyle
Calvin
Pitts.
Johnson.
You got him with Kyle Pitts. They're a pretty stout duel.
Exactly. But yeah, I would have loved to see him come here. Absolutely.
Well,
But
it is what it is.
all these guys.
We're all wrong on the picks so far. So Sammy's locked in, come through. But there's a lot of stuff that has gone on already that I don't think anybody expected.
No. I mean, a lot of people guessed about the Aiden Hutchinson coming to Detroit.
I am not happy about the pick. I truly believe that Jermaine Johnson and Kayvon Thibodeaux are better than he is.
I agree, but I mean, we went safe. You were right. So we'll see how it goes. He could. I mean,
what happens.
He could end up putting on a few more pounds and end up being one of the top guys in the league. So I mean, who knows?
Well, obviously Seattle's on the clock. Their pick is not in. So we're going to see if they're going to go quarterback here.
Sam's over there.
I got them taking Malik Willis here.
Do you?
I believe so. Thought I had Seattle taking Malik Willis.
You do.
Yeah.
You do. Sam has.
I think he could be the first guy going off the board here.
You guys both have Malik Willis.
Yeah. You blew my fucking eardrum out.
Good.
Sorry, I had to have a sip of beer before I went out there. So yeah, I have them going Malik Willis here. I think. Let's talk real quick about the scumbaggery that is Pete Carroll.
Well,
Pete Carroll.
I'm glad their team is a dumpster fire right now, just because I don't like Pete Carroll, and he deserves everything that happens to him because he's
Talk louder.
an utter scumbag.
Yeah, so
And he deserves everything that's happening to him.
if you've listened to the show, which if you don't, which most likely if you're here you do, either follow us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. We're on both. Uncle Sam has made it known a number of times that he thinks Pete Carroll is one of the world's greatest scumbags. Now, what do you think the scumbag is going to do here? Obviously, their quarterback room right now is pretty shitty, to say the least. It is Drew Lock and Geno Smith and
Geno Smith.
that's about it. So,
Well, I mean, obviously they have a ton of need. I think
Yes.
defensively they're awful.
but let's break it down to brass tacks. There's no team in this draft that needs a quarterback more than Seattle. At the end of the day, New Orleans has.
I thought Atlanta did too.
Well, no. Atlanta has
Yeah.
Mariota. Mariota
Yeah.
is serviceable, right? New Orleans has Jameis Winston. He's serviceable. Pittsburgh has Mitchell Trubisky. He might be less than serviceable, but he's mildly serviceable. Seattle has nothing. So I think we're going to see the first quarterback in the draft go here now. And I think it's going to be Malik Willis. I think he fits that system. I think he can bring a little bit of Russell Wilson mixed with a little bit of Lamar Jackson mixed with a little bit of Josh Allen. Not as good as all of those guys, but a decent mixture of the three.
Well, they need that. If they don't get something here, they're going to be in trouble.
Got it. This is pretty exciting. I appreciate your banter between the three of you. It's very exciting.
Cheers, boys.
I was shocked that Tug Job has the following that he does.
Huh?
That Tug Job has the following that he does. He's
Down the hatch, Andy.
It's ridiculous. That's why.
Tug Job.
Tugboat.
Tug Job.
Hey, yeah, that's
He's wearing his-
all right.
Just
So
waiting
the
on
pick
him
is
right
in.
now.
Seattle's here. I'm going to shout out a Twitter follow I have, which is called JPA Football, and he has just tweeted that the Seahawks are taking offensive tackle Charles Cross at 9. Obviously, we don't know anything yet, but we will see here momentarily. There's Mel
Christ.
Kiper's beautiful
Not Mel
face.
Kiper again. Jesus Christ.
Well, okay. So now let's talk about Charles Cross real quick.
Well, he's the third tackle on the board.
But even though he's third, he's still extremely talented.
Yes. He's very solid.
So if
Some say he's the best tackle in the draft, and I've heard that from people.
So real quick before the pick is in, I was just listening to Aaron Glenn, and so apparently they are really excited about Aiden Hutchinson, and they're going to let Aiden be Aiden. Words, quote, from Aaron Glenn.
What the hell does that mean?
I don't know.
What does that mean?
He said we're going to let Aiden be Aiden. So I hope
I don't know.
God
I don't
that
even know what the
doesn't
hell
mean
that means.
anything
I don't think anybody
how
knows
the
what
last
that.
game turned out, but
I don't think anybody knows what that means. Aiden be Aiden.
All
What is
righty,
that?
here's Roger with the 9th pick. The Seattle Seahawks do indeed take offensive tackle out of Mississippi State, Charles Cross. So, shout out to JPA Football for breaking that before the pick was even in. Nice job.
I seen him when Alabama played them, and he was pretty dominant. He was just crushing guys.
So they get a dominant offensive tackle, which means they're going to roll the dice with the quarterback room that they have and or go out and try and trade for a Jimmy Garoppolo, a Baker Mayfield, somebody who could come in and try and run the show for a year or two. But with what they have right now, I think we're dealing with one of the teams that's still going to be at the bottom this year. I don't think this is an instant turnaround for them.
No, I don't either.
But
they have a lot of work to do.
They have a lot of holes, but he'll offer some much-needed protection they need. Obviously, yeah, Bruce just said it. We both have Malik Willis there on our board.
And
so
we were both wrong.
We were both wrong. Hold on here real quick. Here's Bruce.
I was going to say something mean about Pete Carroll. That's all.
Oh, Christ. Oh, Christ.
One Pete
I hear
Carroll.
ya.
No, that's
Put it
his
out
job.
there.
Let him
Put it
do
out
Let
there.
him do it.
Smash him.
That's all his job.
I can't stand his ass.
I was going to say some explicit things, but I can't because we got people here.
So the Jets are back on the clock. Obviously, they took cornerback Ahmad Sauce Gardner with that first pick. I don't know.
You have a lot of players here.
Hey,
Obviously,
Mullens,
it's not
who do
a
I have
quarterback.
going 10th on my side? Yeah, Derek Stingley. Okay, obviously I'm out on that one because I had the Jets
Who
going.
do I got at 10? 10. Garrett Wilson? That's what I got
That
going
could
there.
happen.
Garrett
So
Wilson.
Jets could go receiver here. Obviously, they went corner. There's a lot of options here for the Jets, and I guess we're a few minutes away from seeing what they do, but where's your gut telling you?
I like Garrett Wilson. I mean, they want to go there or maybe Kyle Hamilton here. One of the two.
Well, I think Kyle Hamilton's in play, and I mean, if they wanted to go edge here now,
They could. I
who's
really
out
don't
there,
think
though?
they need edge, to be honest with you. Jermaine Johnson's out there still.
they could go.
And I was hearing some stuff about him. They're saying that he has the potential to be the best D end out of the draft. The best. Out of all of them. Out of Thibodeaux, everybody.
I think that they're a little high on him, but I guess we'll see here in a minute. So we've had 3 offensive tackles go so far. We've had how many? 2 DBs?
Yep.
2 DBs, 3 ends. That's 3 and 3 is 6 and 2 is 8.
Yeah.
Drake London is 9. And we're at the 10th pick. So yeah, that makes sense.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
I need a drink.
Hey, this pizza, it's hard as a rock. Everyone else got to it before I could get to it.
Right.
Hey, Law, you better
Here we
take
are
advantage
here.
of
The
that
Jets
open
pick is
bar,
in.
man.
Here we
Jameis
go.
Wilson.
The 10th
Jameis
overall
Williams
pick.
is-
The New York Jets select wide receiver Garrett Wilson out of Ohio State, who many think is the best receiver in the draft, and I want to hear your thoughts.
Well, that's a great pick for them. They need somebody over there that can catch the ball and stretch the field, and he's the perfect guy to do it. Mel Kiper's comparing him to Lynn Swann. I don't see that, but
Well, in my mock draft,
Mel
I had them going.
Kiper's a freaking idiot, just like
I had them going Jamison Williams here because I already had Garrett Wilson off the board.
Lynn
So-
Swann. Lynn Swann, I don't see it. What? Because his little vertical jump? Yeah, it was a 5-inch vertical in 1974. Give me a break. Guy's a clown.
So yeah, at this point we can pretty much throw away the mock drafts because
Fucking guy's
at the
a
end of it,
clown.
we were wrong. But I think there's still a few picks in there. Like
Well,
I have a lock with Trevor Penning going to the Chargers at
I
17.
love Trevor
I have
Penning.
a lock.
I think Trevor Penning is as good as the top tackles in this draft.
Well, what do you think Washington does here now? Kyle Hamilton's still out
here's
there.
the thing. Kyle Hamilton, they need a safety bad. Their secondary was awful last year. I got Hamilton going here. For value pick, it's huge.
Ian Rappaport has just tweeted that the Washington Commanders will be trading out of this spot. The trade partner to be announced momentarily. The Washington Commanders are now off the clock, and the New Orleans Saints are on the clock. Details of the trade to be announced momentarily.
I know. Malik Willis. Jameson Williams.
This is going to be a Jameson Williams pick here. So obviously, New Orleans knew they needed to move up to get the receiver that they wanted. Yeah, here we go now.
Now they're scared.
Let the shit show begin
receivers
right
are
now.
coming
Yep.
off. So here we
Exactly what we said. As soon as those first couple receivers went, now you're going to see. I'm really anxious to see what this trade involved.
Yes.
But they just announced that the Saints are indeed on the clock, so here we go. We're
Now
still
the
waiting.
Saints go receiver here. They still have Michael Thomas. They still have a good core of receivers there. They take quarterback here.
Right. And I mean, obviously they still have.
They take Kenny Pickett here. They take Malik Willis.
Yeah, what if they traded up like this to go get quarterback?
I wouldn't understand it. I don't even know why they would.
Well, okay, at
I'm
the end
sure
of the day,
one would fall to them.
let's be real here. This is good. This pick is. They wouldn't make this move unless they're going one of two guys. It's either going to be Jameson Williams or Kenny Pickett / Malik Willis. I don't think there's another option.
I don't either. Unless they go Matt Corral.
I mean, unless they were really, really sold on Kyle Hamilton, but I don't think that's the case. I think they could have got him.
Obviously, that's why they dropped down.
Right. So we're gonna figure this out here in a second as we wait for details of the trade to come
lost
through.
their safety this year too.
Listen, New Orleans is in a better situation.
Are you gonna throw up?
No,
Bruce has got his slider in his hand.
You were kind of looking like Garrett there for a
Atlanta's in a
minute.
shittier spot about a quarterback than New Orleans is. So if Atlanta didn't take a quarterback, there is no way that New Orleans takes a quarterback right now.
They do have Jameis Williams. You're right. They do have Jameis Williams.
They are way better off.
But we already know what Jameis Williams is, right? I can't see nothing, dude.
Come over here. So, according to Albert Breer, the Saints are trading the 16th pick, a third rounder, and a fourth rounder to Washington to move up to 11. So, if they gave up 2 extra picks, I mean, it's a third and a fourth at the end of the day, but they gave up those 2 picks to move up 5 spots.
For a receiver? It's got to be a quarterback.
There's got to be somebody they want there, and I think that person at the end of the day is going to be Malik Willis. But I guess we'll find out in 3 minutes. Now, do you like Malik Willis in that Saints system?
I do. I think he works out good. You know, he's got some good receivers. We'll see what happens here.
So Washington traded the 10th overall pick to New Orleans. New Orleans on the clock. You know what? That trade surprised me because I feel like Washington had a few things they needed, but obviously they thought whatever they want, they can get at 16. So if they do need to go safety,
Obviously.
if they do want Trent McDuffie, if they do want to go secondary at least, they obviously believe they can get it at 16. Bruce, I apologize, I just burped in your face, but
All right, we're all drinking.
Why are all the Saints guys
Party,
wearing
man.
red
It's a party. We're having
little
a good time.
hoodies?
good time.
Good time.
Good time.
Red.
Oh yeah, they got their Pelicans jerseys on.
Whatever.
Do you know what
What
league
the
the
hell's
New
a Pelican?
The New Orleans basketball team is the NBA
God.
team's the Pelicans.
That's
Nobody
their NBA
cares
team.
about basketball.
Nobody gives a shit about basketball. I don't think anybody
It's
likes
all
basketball.
rigged anyway.
PJ, what do you think is going to happen here? Who's New Orleans going to take? They traded up for this. You think it's Jameson Williams? What do you think, Jameson Williams or a quarterback? Make the call.
I think quarterback here.
Bruce, what do you think?
I think Pickett's going here.
It's hard to say. I
just
would
think if
agree
you're
with
moving
Sam
up-
on this
you're
one. It might
moving
be a
up and-
quarterback.
Hey,
Yeah,
you want to know what? You want to know what?
It's got to be quarterback.
I'll be honest with you. We're in the run receivers. As much as I thought this would be Kenny Pickett, I feel like if they waited on a receiver, they weren't going to get one. Now,
Yeah, that's true.
it might Jameson Williams there makes sense, but you want to know what team is going to be teetotally fucked right here? Green Bay. Because all they need to go receiver, and there ain't going to be anybody left. So don't be shocked if we see Green Bay make a move to try and trade up here now too. They obviously have the draft capital to do it. So
Who is that?
huh? Correct. So New Orleans could go quarterback at 19. I think it's going to be You know what? I just saw Chris Olave's name pop up on there, and I wouldn't be shocked, but I think it'll be Jameson Williams. Here we go. The commissioner's out there with a bunch. Who is that?
Tony Gonzalez, no?
Where? Oh, yeah, it is. One of them's Tony
Guy
Gonzalez.
to the left of him is Tony Gonzalez.
Who? Oh, that is Austin Eckler, yeah.
Who's the guy wearing the Kansas City?
Some drunk.
Oh, here we go. Football.
He's all pickled. Look at him, dude.
Yeah, he is. He's got the drunken
sway
stance
going.
to him. Yeah.
He's got the sway going. He's pickled.
So what? We got to listen to Tony Gonzalez talk before he can do this.
He's got the Garrett sway.
The Garrett sway. Hey, shout out to Garrett for all his help tonight.
Shout out to Gary. Gary. did
Shout
a
out
lot
to
of work
Gary
today.
No Football.
Thank you, Gary.
Yeah! Give it up for Garrett.
Hey, Garrett, who do you think the Saints are going to pick here?
Garrett, who the Saints taking? Drew Brees.
Drew Brees, that away. That's a perfect Gary No Football pick. What? Oh my God, we have a trade, everybody. Excuse me, can I have your attention? The Detroit Lions are now on the clock. They traded 32, 34, and 66 for, they're not on the clock yet. They will be on the clock with the next pick. They traded 32, 34, and 66 for the 12th overall pick and 46. So now the Lions will be on the clock next, trading with Minnesota.
Malik Willis.
So here we go. Obviously, New Orleans thought this changes shit now. So New Orleans, obviously, I think they're going to go quarterback here. The Lions might have panicked and traded up. Here we go.
I thought they were going to trade down, if anything. Shit.
With the 11th overall pick, the New Orleans Saints, which they traded up to get. Chris Olave, I just said that, baby. Let's go. Wow. So, hold on. So, you're trying to tell me they traded... are the Lions going to go receiver? Did the Lions trade up to go receiver? Let's talk about that right now.
No way.
What makes you think they didn't?
I think they're set on the receiver core.
Let's use logic
You
here.
got TJ Chark. He's tall. He's big. He can.
These
he can
receivers.
across the field.
They got everybody nervous with these receivers.
The Lions have Cephas, right? They got Amara St. Brown. They have DJ Chark. DJ Chark can stretch the field, right? Able to get open wide, downrange. The two other guys, Amara St. Brown can stretch the field as well, but you want him to cover a little bit of inside work. I don't think they go receiver. I think they're set on the
You're gonna have to read it
receiver
to me.
right now.
Let me see it.
Okay.
They're trading with the Vikings?
Yes, so the
Holy
Lions have
shit.
traded with the Minnesota Vikings
Jordan
to acquire
Davis.
the 12th pick. Now, realistically,
Shout out to
me and
Matt.
Uncle Sam are both in agreement that Jordan Davis, the defensive tackle out of Georgia, was going to be the pick. The Lions pick is in already.
Shout out to Matt.
So the Lions, with 9 minutes and 33 seconds remaining for them to decide who they were going to pick with this 12th pick, which they traded 32 and 34 for.
I might go.
And
So
66.
And 66. The Lions gave up
And they knew who they
two
were
top
choosing.
40 players to make this pick.
They knew who they were getting.
So they know who they're going for. I don't know who they're going for.
If it's Jordan Davis, I'll be happy.
Do you want me to be honest?
Yes.
When you make a move like that, you're making a move for a guy who is going to be your generational talent. When you have Hard Knocks coming to town, you make the moves that you need to capture the attention of a country.
Jameson Williams?
The Lions are going to take quarterback Malik Willis here. Hot take, sound the alarm. They're going quarterback.
Oh, I'll sound it.
You know what? I'm okay with it. They got.
I don't.
I will put-
I'm not okay with
Then
it.
hold on. Why else do you do that?
I wouldn't do it.
Then who do you think they're going to take here?
I would take Jordan Davis here. Because you're giving up 2 picks to move up to grab the best tackle.
So who do you think they're going here?
I think they got scared thinking Minnesota was going to take Jordan
Davis?
Yes.
I wouldn't be upset if they took Jordan Davis here. I wouldn't.
I'd rather
But do
have
I think
that
it could
than
be?
Malik
Do I think
Willis.
it could be offense? I do. Oh my God, they're showing Kenny Pickett right now.
Kenny Pickett, I'll be excited as hell. I like that guy.
Like we're hearing.
You're out of your
Here in
mind.
Detroit, we're hearing some cheers for Pickett.
Horrible.
Hey, come here.
He's horrible.
I'm out of my mind, but guess what? I regenerate.
Here we go. Hold on. We're going to get Christopher's thoughts on the Lions possibly taking Kenny Pickett here again. The pick is in.
I like Kenny Pickett. This guy's got a great football
go.
IQ. The guy knows how to throw
Liberty.
the ball. Beautiful.
Liberty.
Oh God.
Let's see if they.
I just
Let's
saw
see if they're
Liberty
gonna.
up there. I
They're
just
gonna
saw
give me the
Liberty. I
triple
like
Lindy
Liberty, I
here.
like Kenny.
Okay, hold on. We have another trade. It does not involve the Lions are picking, but the 13th pick for Houston is now being traded to Philadelphia. So
Now Philly's
Philadelphia,
scared.
who already has 2 first-round picks, is trading up even higher after they traded lower.
They want
So-
a receiver.
So, yeah, you know what? The Lions could get their next big receiver right here.
Well, let's see what Mel
be
Kiper
upset.
has to say. Like anybody really
be upset.
cares.
Nah, I wouldn't be that.
Hold on,
upset.
let's go to our resident Lion fan, Bruce, to see what he says. What would make you happy here if the Lions are going to trade 32 and 34 and essentially end their day today to get a pick here? Who would you like to see them go with?
Malik Willis, Liberty. He's the man. He's got a cannon in an arm. That's a sexy pick, like we were saying before, and it's great for
You're
hard
damn
knocks.
right. It
It's
is
great
so
for the city.
sexy.
The
It
only
is
thing
so
sexy here is Bruce.
So the Eagles are trading 13, and they're giving up 15, 124, and 162. I'm not going to lie.
That's receiver.
That is a beautiful trade for Philadelphia to move up 2 spots and get somebody they want. They essentially gave up nothing. I mean, they gave up 124 and 162 to move up those 2 spots. I'll take it all day.
I'm
The
gonna need
Lions
6 more beers.
get the 12th pick. They give up 32, 34, and a 2022 third. That's a lot.
God, I hope Brad Holmes knows what he's doing.
They gave up a lot for this. So here
hope
we
he
go.
knows
They're getting
He's done.
46. Yeah, they're getting 46
Yeah, but they gave up 32 and 34.
and 66, but they're getting 46. So
He better know what he's doing.
It's got to be a QB. I don't even want to look at this. I just got the Ian Rappaport
Don't
notification,
even
but I'm
look
not
at it.
looking.
Don't
Here we
look
go.
at it.
don't even look at it. I want to
With
throw up.
the 12th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, via trade from the Vikings, they select Jamison Williams, wide receiver, Alabama, a beautiful pick
I'm not
for the
upset with
Detroit
that.
Lions.
There you go.
Wow.
With that.
So now we have a receiving core in Detroit of rookie Jamison Williams,
Not upset with
sophomore Amon-Ra St. Brown, and free agent signing DJ Chark to go with TJ Hutchinson. Let's stop here real quick. Our instant reaction to this, that's the best receiving core in the NFC North.
It's the best receiver in the draft.
They just got, barring injury, possibly the best receiver in the draft. And now, with that pick in those moves, they have the best receiving core in their division.
It's possible.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, Cephas, DJ Chark, now Jameis Williams.
Yeah. Nice.
How many years have I,
like the
said I
Vikings
want?
a little better, but
How many years have I said I wanted to see Detroit do something sexy? They just did that. They just made the sexy move. That's what we wanted. And you know what? I'm glad they didn't take the quarterback. Give Goff his
too.
year, put the guys around him he needs, and let's see what this guy's made of. Now, another trade just happened. The Eagles are getting 13 from the Texans in exchange for 15, 124, and 162. And JPA Football, our good friend, has reported that the Eagles traded up to take Jordan Davis at 13. Obviously, the pick is not in, and that is not confirmed, but Uncle Sam, I haven't heard your reaction on Jamison Williams, and I haven't heard your reaction on the Eagles possibly
Well,
taking
here's-
Jordan
here's
Davis.
the
Give
thing.
it to us.
He's the best receiver in the draft. The injury is basically he's fell because of the injury that he sustained in a championship game. So they're getting the top guy in the draft, top receiver in the draft.
Now you have 2 guys that can actually stretch the field.
Well, this guy can stretch the field.
I mean, he's got speed.
They don't have
he
a guy
has
like this on the Lions.
Speed. No, I mean, absolutely not.
They don't have a guy his caliber. No.
And now they do. Now they do.
Now they do. Here's
now
something.
we'll see what
Here's
Jared
something
Goff
very
is
huge
really
right now.
worth right
If the
now.
Philadelphia Eagles have moved up to grab Jordan Davis, that is a big deal, because they've already signed Hassan Riddick away from Carolina. They could have the best defensive line in football, bar none.
I think your hopes up for the Philadelphia D are way too much.
What's that?
Your hopes for the Philadelphia D are.
I actually like the Philadelphia Eagles draft more than I like the Lions draft. Listen to me. If the Lions would have took Kayvon Thibodeaux, turned around and took this guy, I would have been ecstatic.
I mean, they had the chance to. They had the chance.
They had the chance. They had the chance.
But
and everybody got scared because the guy's got a little attitude. Whatever. They want to get guys they can coach up, the guys that are going to fall into their system.
so I guess you could say those rumors about Dan Campbell not liking Kayvon Thibodeaux are kind of true.
Obviously, because they would have took him.
Because they would have took him.
I
if
think
he
Hutchinson
really liked him.
dropping is the only reason why they took him.
I hope well, like I said, it'll take me to like week 4 on Aiden. But for Jameis Williams, I mean, I'm pretty set in stone on him.
Well, listen, everybody thinking they gave up a lot. I don't think they gave up as much as you think. I mean,
Well, you don't think they could have built their defense a little more?
They basically gave up 2 picks. 2.
Yeah.
I don't count the 66 pick because you're getting the 46 pick. So you're picking 20 picks higher. They're picking 26 higher.
So you don't think that they could have at least filled a couple holes on our
Well,
defense?
I mean, they're going to probably turn around here at 44 and go and keep bolstering their defense.
Keep going.
They have to.
They have to. From what the Lions did last year to this
Well,
year, I mean, they have to.
They have to bolster the defense.
Because
You know, I don't mind them trading up to grab a receiver of his caliber, because they haven't had one like that since Calvin Johnson left.
Well, now all the pressure is on Jared Goff, in my opinion.
Well,
Because if
Jared
he can't
Goff's-
make it, if he's got DJ Chark,
they don't come out
St. Brown.
and they don't tear it up this year, I think Jared Goff's on his way out.
I agree.
See, he's under contract for 2 more years, and that's what you got to understand. He's not going anywhere. He'll be here 2 more years.
Okay, so point blank period, we are a Detroit-based podcast, and there wasn't one person in the city of Detroit or anywhere else, especially in this room, that expected the Lions to make that move. And I mean, PJ called it. PJ
said
literally called it. Shout out to PJ.
The minute
he called that.
one of the receivers went, everybody was going to freak.
Hey, this
sucks.
is
I don't think they're going to move.
well. So the Eagles
Here's
straight
the
up
thing.
now.
I think the Eagles want a receiver too.
No. Well, if you thought the Lions wanted Jordan Day, okay. When we did our first mock draft, the Eagles had 3 picks in the top 20.
Correct.
And we said they were all defensive guys. I realistically, Jordan Davis makes a shitload of sense here.
It does, but it doesn't. I mean, it puts them in a big rotation over there.
I mean, they've
already got 2 of the most solid defensive tackles in football.
Yes, but they also
And now they're adding a 3rd?
they have a pretty good receiving core.
Yeah, but they already added. You added Hassan Riddick.
And also, if you're the Eagles and you want a receiver, who do you take here?
Treylon Burks.
Treylon Burks could be.
You might see Trent McDuffie go here.
Hey, also, I want to give a quick shout out to all of our watchers on TikTok Live. There's currently over 200 of you, so I want to give you all a shout out and thank you guys for being here with us tonight. It means a lot.
For checking in with us.
Absolutely.
And everybody here, too. Thanks for
Everybody here,
coming
too.
out.
Thank you guys so much for being here.
You guys have been great. Thank you.
Hopefully you drank enough beer, ate enough food, and please take some merch. Take it for your friends who couldn't make it tonight. Make sure you're repping the brand.
Yeah. Tip balls, baby.
It's great to have you guys here. It's great for us to do this in front of you. So go grab one. You can this is more cleanup.
Don't do that to these poor girls.
Lions ain't got enough pick.
Okay, well, the pick has been in here for the Eagles for about 10 minutes. I don't know.
Christ.
I don't know
was
was Roger Goodell
What is
taking a
he
shit?
doing?
I mean, let's
Why
go.
is he rubbing that girl? He was looking like Joe Biden there for a minute. I think he was
Sniffing children.
Yeah.
Here we go. Roger Goodell is out there.
With a
Don't say it.
juvenile.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, Roger Goodell. You know what? If I was Roger Goodell, I'd wear that shirt that has his face of a clown face. I would do
the
it
bars,
myself.
the Dave Portnoy Barstool clown face. Yeah,
That's it.
Just embrace it.
Embrace it,
When you're that much of an asshole, you just kind of got to
Yeah.
embrace it sometimes.
Oh, you know what? He couldn't make a decision on anything. He's a clown. He is a clown, literally.
So here we go. After trading up, the Philadelphia Eagles with the 13th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft select Jordan Davis, defensive tackle out of Georgia. Now, this is Uncle Sam's favorite overall player in this draft. He fell a little bit further than we thought. I'm going to give it to him and let him give you guys the lowdown on Jordan Davis. Let the people know why you love him.
He's an absolute freak of nature. Somebody his size that can move the way he moves is very unusual. And he will absolutely be an absolute menace for any team that he plays against. Good luck, Dallas. Good luck. Good luck, Jerry Jones.
Baltimore's on the clock now with the 14th pick. The pick is in. I needed a quick bathroom break and a chicken wing, and we're ready to go. Now, you and me both had Jordan Davis going here.
I did.
Obviously, the Eagles love Jordan Davis and thought the same thing, that the Ravens would take him. So
That's why they leapfrogged them.
they had to jump in front of them to get him.
Right.
So now, what does Baltimore do here? We had another PJ prediction that
PJ predicted that
safety
Baltimore
Kyle
Ravens,
Hamilton would be going here.
They're looking for the next Ed Reed.
Do you think Kyle Hamilton has that Ed Reed potential? I mean, obviously, Ed Reed's one of the best safeties of all time. So
Ed Reed was a special player, but Kyle Hamilton, he's a little better than people think. He ran a bad 40 time, and it's kind of made him drop. They were talking about him being a top 4 pick. And that bad 40 time, and just a bad combine in general, he has really dropped down.
well,
But if you watch his tape, it does not match what you've seen at the combine.
JPA Football, a source we've been going to all night, also agrees with PJ that the Ravens will be taking safety Kyle Hamilton here as well. Obviously, this is a guy that a lot of people thought could go at number 2. A lot of people thought the Lions would take him at number 2. Obviously, I'm glad they didn't after the Jeff Okudah whiff the year before. Or in previous years, my bad.
Correct.
But is there anybody else really in play here?
I don't think so. I
You
don't
know-
think so. I don't think they're going quarterback here.
No. Yeah.
That's not going to happen.
Now, realistically, let's hold on. I could see possibly
Maybe Jermaine Johnson here.
Jermaine Johnson, I was going to say,
Yeah.
or
And I had Jermaine Johnson going a lot higher than what he's.
could they possibly go linebacker here? Are they in love with either Devin Lloyd or
Devin
Nakobe Dean? I mean,
Devin Lloyd?
Nakobe Dean's a guy who could go anywhere from, I think, right here to out of the first round.
The whole Georgia defense will be drafted in this draft. The whole defense. Well, the selection is in.
Roger Goodell out here with the 14th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. The Baltimore Ravens do indeed select safety out of Notre Dame, Kyle Hamilton. So
Good night, Peggy. Be safe.
Exactly what Lamar needs.
here we go. They obviously think highly of him. So
Obviously.
they get their safety here. At the end of the day, I think they wanted Jordan Davis here. He was the most
they
logical
did.
pick
and
for them.
I think Philadelphia kind of threw a little monkey wrench at what they wanted to do.
I thought it was somebody else. So this is what Lamar needed.
Well,
That's okay.
Like I said, when you watch the tape on this guy,
Kyle Hamilton, yeah,
It tells you that
6'4",
story.
220. Okay, the Texans are on the clock, and their pick is already in. Now, I will say, the pace of this draft thus far is truly like something I've never seen. And Adam Schefter tweeted this morning that this would be the wildest draft in the last 30 years. And honest to God, I don't think he was wrong. But I was not expecting this much certainty out of teams. As soon as a pick is in, I mean, they're not taking their 10 minutes.
They're turning it right in.
They know exactly who they're going for. And, oh my goodness. We have another trade. The Ravens have traded wide receiver Hollywood Brown to the Arizona Cardinals in exchange for the number 23 pick. So the Ravens will be back on the clock. Wow.
Shortly.
Well, okay. Now
where does Hollywood?
Where does Green Bay have their first pick? Could you check on that for me?
23?
22.
22.
So if they're trading Hollywood Brown and going up back into this draft, what's the purpose? Who are they going for? Now, the Texans took Derek Stingley. We'll come back to the Ravens trade here momentarily. But the pick is in for Houston here at 13, and they've already drafted Derek Stingley, the corner. So now, logically, it's got to be Jermaine Johnson here, right? Everybody thought they were going to go edge with that number 3 pick.
Maybe Trevor Penning here?
Well, see, for me personally, Trevor Penning was a lock to the Chargers.
I know, but
if they needed to jump him,
they needed a lineman and they skipped it.
Right? They didn't take Ekwonu or Evan Neal. They went with Stingley. So, yeah, I would say right now in play would be Trevor Penning, or they go get the edge rusher that they didn't get.
Jermaine Johnson
and or Penning. Now, there could be another offensive tackle that they like here.
Maybe Trent McDuffie.
Or, well, no, they already went DB.
What's to say they don't go it again?
Go double corner here.
Their secondary was horrible last year. They were awful.
You know, the whole thing is, jumping back to this Ravens trade, so now the Ravens will be back on the clock at 23. They trade Hollywood Brown, who had a ton of promise. And
I don't understand.
I don't understand that either.
He was their only deep threat.
Correct.
And I don't understand why they would ship him out unless they plan on drafting another receiver.
Yeah, so maybe at 23 they're going,
Burks.
oh, here we go. We're about to hear from Roger Goodell on who the Houston Texans are going to take at 23.
He needs to pick up the pace.
Excuse me,
making me
not
nervous.
23, at 15.
Roger Goodell. Fart juice.
With the 15th pick of the
Kenyon
2022
Green.
NFL draft.
Guard.
They take Kenyon Green. So
He's the top guard in the draft.
they go out and get their offensive lineman, just like you said. I had Kenyon Green going a little bit later, I believe, to Tennessee, but here we are. Kenyon Green at 15 to the Houston Texans. Your thoughts on that?
Well, like I said, he's the best guard in the draft. So for him to go at this spot is actually very good for him. He's going to make a lot of money in this league.
JPA Football, again, going to our favorite Twitter source, has just announced that the Commanders will be taking Jahan Dotson at 16. So now that receiver pool for the Green Bay Packers is getting even slimmer and slimmer. I like Dotson. There's a lot of people who didn't have him going in round 1. I did. I think this might be a little early for him, especially with Treylon Burks still out there, especially with a lot of the needs the Commanders have. But here we are. Who picked before them?
The Washington Commanders still have Carson Wentz as their quarterback, so it really doesn't matter who they choose in this draft, unless it's defense, in my opinion.
That's a huge trade. Wait, who was picked before them? Did I miss something here? No. Kenyon Green. That was Kenyon Green. Yeah, that wasn't exciting. Via Ian Rappaport, the Jets offered 10 and a pick swap for Deebo Samuel, and the 49ers rejected it. So the Jets were the favorites to land Deebo Samuel today, and obviously did not. And so the 49ers rejected the trade. So obviously they're going to have to pay Deebo Samuel. Obviously, we're going to see something unfold with him. He essentially told the 49ers, trade me and don't make me an offer. So, Uncle Sam, where do you think Deebo Samuel and the 49ers stand at this point? Will he play for them next year?
Obviously, he'll either sit out the season or play. That's going to be his choice. And I don't think he wants to give up any money out of that rookie contract he's playing on. We're basically doing the same thing with Baker Mayfield, too.
I would like to thank you guys so much for listening, first and foremost. And second of all, I would like to thank everybody who joined us this evening at Zeffs Dockside Bar and Grill in St. Clair Shores. It was an awesome evening. We had a lot of fun. We loved being out here in front of all you guys doing this live, essentially, even though you guys are hearing it, secondhand. It was a great night. If you haven't yet, follow us on our socials. Instagram at Tipballs, Twitter at Tipballs, TikTok at Tipballs Podcast. Remember to like us on Facebook and subscribe wherever you listen, whether that's Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Again, thank you guys so much for listening. To everyone who came out and spent the night with us tonight, thank you so much for spending your draft night with us. This is one of the most special nights of the NFL year, and it was truly one that we will never forget. It's first of many to come.